I'm going to be making some crumpets today. Everyone at the moment is on a sourdough mission. So when you throw your sourdough away, you can make crumpets or even pikelets, which are free-formed with this spent mother. So in here I have 270 grams of our spent mother that you would normally just throw away. I have 1 teaspoon of sugar, a pinch of salt, and a kind of heaped ½ teaspoon of bicarbonate soda. So you can't really get any easier than this. There's lots of different methods of do this, then do that, and then add that and leave it for a while. This one is really easy, really simple. So to the mother, we're going to add all 3 ingredients. The bicarb will activate it and get it nice, those nice air bubbles that you see in crumpets and pikelets. So you can see the texture. It's almost like when you make a honeycomb, and when you add the bicarb, it's voluminous. The volume really goes up. So I'm not going to mix this anymore. I've warmed my pan slightly. It's over a very low heat because we don't want it to burn. We want it to cook nice and evenly. I'm just going to pop a little bit of oil in there, just enough to coat it. I've taken rings and I've just buttered quite liberally in there. As you can see, there's a fair amount of butter. We don't want them to stick. You don't want to go to all this effort and then them not to work really. So I'm going to take 1 spoon in like so. And this will make quite a few, as you can see. The deeper you do them, the more mixture you put in, the longer they're going to take, and you're just going to have to be really patient. So I'm going to go a bit thinner, so that I don't have to wait too long because I'm quite greedy. But there we are. So that's in there like so. So they will rise, so they will come up quite nicely. So you don't want to overfill them in the first instance. So we're just going to let those sit now, and I'll come back to you once they're 3/4 of the way through. So I've just come back to you so that I can show you the stages of cooking. As you can see, they're starting to develop the nice little bubbles that you need to have in crumpets. They'll just pop naturally. You don't need to poke them. You don't need to move them because it's cooking nice on the bottom, and it should be getting a little bit golden, not too much. So yeah, that's the kind of stage you're looking for now, halfway through cooking. You've seen how they can rise like that as well. So yeah, so we're nearly, well, we're kind of ready to flip these now. You can see we've got all the nice little pockets through those. You can see that they're pretty much cooked. So what I'm going to do, very gently, very carefully, you can use a towel. We're just going to flip them over nice and carefully, like so. And I'm just going to then, you can see the nice colour we've got on there. So I'm just going to gently ease them down like so, just to free them a little. Even though we've greased them, they might need a little bit of help. Just like so. And there we go. Now, there we go. I have taken the rings off. You can see the texture of the crumpet there. So a couple of ways you can do this. You can either toast them gently, but you can also add a little knob of butter, because you can always butter a crumpet anyway. So we're just going to put a little bit of butter in there, and that's going to soak in and it'll get nice and golden. So it kind of toasts them in the butter, and then you won't need to add any extra butter either. So we're just going to let that, I'm just going to turn that up a little bit, just keep an eye on your heat. There we are, that's colouring gently. You still want to do it gently, because the last thing you want after this is just to burn them. So I'm just going to leave those for a second or two. You can see it's going a nice little colour. And like I said before, it's a great way of using up your mother that you would normally discard anyway. Just going to keep turning them so they get a nice even colour. It's going to take a minute. This one's coming along lovely, as you can see. Yeah, we're nearly there. Just going to go over the plate. There we go, so that's lovely. That's what we're looking for. Okay. To go with our lovely crumpets that we've made, I'm going to make some watercress soup. Nice and easy again. In here I have a litre of stock. You can use vegetable stock with a stock cube. You can use chicken stock. So I've got a litre of stock. I have 200 grams of sliced potatoes. As you can see, they're extremely thin. I've done this so that they cook quickly. Because when we're making any kind of soups, we want the process to be quick. We want to keep all those nutrients in. So they're cooked right through now. And it's really important to have that ready before we start making the soup. I have 100 grams of shallots and I have 300 grams of watercress. Into this pan here, I'm going to put a little bit of rapeseed oil so that I can sweat down my shallots. I want it in a hot pan. You can hear that sizzle straight away, like so. So, I'm going to mix this to get it coated. You just want to sweat that down quickly. I'm just going to add a fraction more rapeseed oil. So very quickly you want this to cook. You want a nice vibrant soup. So that's sweating down nicely. And with it being nice and thin, it really won't take very long to cook. It just shows how quick and simple and easy soup is. And I use this for a basis of all the soups that I make. So, I'd say that's about there. I'm going to add my watercress. In all at once, because we want that to wilt down again nice and quickly. I haven't turned the heat down. I want to cook it and keep that lovely colour that we're going to get from this soup. So just going to sweat that down. I'm going to season a little bit and then we'll adjust the seasoning when we're blending. You can add pepper if you want to at the end, but because the watercress obviously is quite spicy, I'm not actually going to add any pepper until the end, and then I can assess whether I want it a bit spicier and a bit warmer in heat. So this is cooking down nice and quickly. It's on a high heat. You can see that's starting to wilt down. Just going to leave that there for a moment so the heat gets in there. And as I've said, my stock here is ready. So all I'm going to have to do is, once this is wilted, is add that stock, the boiling stock, to this pan. Be careful as you do this because you don't want you to burn yourself and all these hot liquids. So this is ready. As you can see, it's changed in colour, it's wilted right down. I'm going to add all my stock very carefully. So this is, let me just check seasoning. I'm going to add a touch more salt now. I'm still going to readjust that after I've blended it. But now this is ready to be blended. So I'm just going to pop that off. blender. Again, be extremely careful as you're doing this, because we don't want any mishaps. And don't fill your blender too much either. Just add a bit of the stuff. It's better to do it in a couple of goes so that you're safe. So I'm just going to put this in here. Turn that first, and once this is blended, I'll show you the end result. Our soup's blended. As you can see, it's got a beautiful colour, really nice, and that's what happens when you cook it really quickly and you have your stock and your potatoes ready to go. So we're just going to serve this as much or little as you would like in a bowl. Now, if you don't want to serve crumpets with it, you could serve it with a poached egg. 2 our little crumpets that you've seen us make. I have some lovely smoked trout. I'm just going to add a little bit of lemon to those, just like that. And I'm just going to finish our soup with a small amount of natural yoghurt, really good natural yoghurt, live yoghurt, a little drizzle of rapeseed oil, and it's ready to enjoy.